Hello and welcome to Ennemie lore and theory video. I'm Shergog, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at how Ainz Ooal Gowns could end up in a huge conflict with yet another of the Dragon Lords. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as say thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's get to the topic at hand. Ainz Ooal Gowns, the undead overlord of the Great Tomb of Nezarec, has successfully freed his sorcerer kingdom from political and economic isolation. This liberation was marked by the lightning-fast subjugation of the Empire of Barut, the well-thought-out friendship treaty and the flourishing trade with the Dwarven Kingdom, as well as the rescue of the Holy Kingdom and the suppression and then annexation of the Iberian Hills. And these achievements elevated the Sorcerer Kingdom to the status of a great power, drawing the attention of the surrounding political landscape. And thus, when the Sorcerer Kingdom declared war on the Kingdom of Ainz, numerous nations supported this step. The Holy Kingdom, whose grain and aid shipment had been attacked, the very grain shipment by the Sorcerer Kingdom, was of course quick to condemn the action of Ainz. And of course the fact that international humanitarian aid to a war-torn nation fell victim to a fatal incompetence and reckless ambition of a local noble named Philip was, diplomatically speaking, disastrous for the position of the Kingdom of Ainz, as this was not a military target that was attacked, it was aid. So again, the incompetence of Philip has very badly weakened the position of the Kingdom of Ainz. But still, at the very least, it was a human nation. And compared to the undead Sorcerer Kingdom, you could still think that some nations would still ally with the Kingdom of Ainz, but this wasn't the case. It was truly alone. Because what truly sealed the deal, what truly sealed its fate on the international level, was also the approval of the Barut Empire, the Dwarven Kingdom, and the religious leadership of the Holy Kingdom under Neabaraya, surprisingly of course, that also supported this declaration of war. But it wasn't just the conquered, coerced, or diplomatically manipulated states that supported Ainz Ooal Gowns' Sorcerer Kingdom in this very action. Even a supposedly neutral state, the Dragon Kingdom under Draudulon Auriculos, backed this declaration of war against Ainz. And at first glance this might seem surprising. However, the Dragon Kingdom was already embroiled in its own problem, namely the fight against the Beastman. Yet, curiously enough, it still supported the war efforts, and this had a very clear reason, because despite its very name, the Dragon Kingdom was actually a fully human nation. And because of this, it had received support from the Barut Empire, the Theocracy of Slain, and to some extent even from the Kingdom of Ainz, as well as the city-state alliance of Carnasus, in order to fight them off. Because again, Beastmen are way stronger, larger and more powerful, compared to a single human. But the bulk of the support came from the Theocracy of Slain, which saw the conflict between the Dragon Kingdom and the Beastmen not as a mere territorial dispute or a feeding frenzy, but as a religious struggle between humanity and all non-human beings. As such, the Theocracy regularly sent its elite troops, the 6 scriptures, at least one of them, into battle, naturally in exchange for financial compensation. The Barut Empire, on the other hand, viewed the situation less through a religious lens and more as a strategic concern. If a horde of beastmen managed to eliminate the Dragon Kingdom, then they themselves would soon be standing at the Empire's very gates. And to avoid a direct confrontation, Emperor Jerknif supported the Dragon Kingdom with troops and military supplies. Not entirely selflessly, of course. But after the Sorcerer Kingdom turned the Empire of Barut into a vassal state and put it under its very own protection, and with the slain Theocracy preoccupied with its very own issues, battling the elves and the Sorcerer Kingdom, while already having lost 2 of its 6 scriptures, and currently being unable to use its very own world-class item Downfall of Castle and Country, there was no one left to support the Dragon Kingdom, even though it made its payment. On the other hand, Draudilon's kingdom was now fully focused on its main war effort against the Beastman, and this led to the loss of several important cities, which had since fallen under Beastman control, because it alone, despite its best efforts, could not contain the invasion. In this situation, with all other options exhausted, Draudilon Auriculus also supported the Sorcerer Kingdom's declaration of war, naturally hoping to receive aid from Ainz undead legions in return. Because even though the Kingdom of Riestais had been largely depopulated as a result of the war, for Draudilon, this very military power of Ainz forces likely presented her only real hope in the midst of this crisis. If Ainz were to send his armies in the other direction, the Dragon Kingdom could be completely and permanently saved within just a few months, and I personally believe that Ainz Ooal Gowns will send troops. The real question is, how will the Beastmen react? Because while they are strong, we know for a fact that there are very few truly exceptional individuals among them. And this brings me to something that genuinely caught my attention since the start of my channel back in 2018, so more than 7 years ago. I have suspected that there are other godkins out there, or in other words, descendants of players within this world that are not affiliated with the theocracy of Slain, and its golden lineage. The Elf King in Deckham Hugin has confirmed this possibility, and because of that, I could see one of these powerful individuals of the Beastman also being the equivalent of a godkin, a being just like Zeshi Zetsumai, only on the opposing side of humanity. And I suspect that the Minotaur King, who seemingly was also a player, has left his mark in the gene pool of the New World as well, and likely fathered numerous offspring, either with Minotaur women or possibly even with other beastmen. So basically I'm calling him a furry right now, so to speak. And now that the Slain theocracy is occupied, these hybrid beings, descendants of both the old world and the new, may have realized that this is their opportunity to make a name for themselves and give in to their predatory instincts, without fearing retribution from a stronger and more powerful adversary. However, I have another theory which also revolves around a hybrid, but of a different kind. Thanks to the existence of Draudilon Auriculus, who is a descendant of Brightness Dragonlord, we know that the dragons and humans can reproduce. And I suspect that in this case the dragon took on a more human form using a spell like Polymorph, or something similar, in order to engage in reproduction. Furthermore, I believe that Brightness Dragonlord, who appeared to be the Rudius Gererat of dragons, someone who sized offspring at every single opportunity, probably didn't stop at just humans, but may have also had sired children with beastmen. And this means that the seemingly random invasion and destruction of the Dragon Kingdom by the very beastmen is not just about war, conquest or plunder, or indeed a feeding frenzy. Instead, it could be that a descendant of Brightness Dragonlord is behind all of it, with the goal of wiping out Draudilon Auriculus. And if this is true, then this was actually a battle for supremacy. Maybe this Dragon Beastman hybrid thinks that if he conquers Draudilon Auriculus and her own kingdom and territory, Brightness Dragonlord himself will acknowledge him or her. And this could be his way of proving his worth to his father or grandfather. And this would also mean that this previous raid on the Dragon Kingdoms, that they were merely tests, attempts to gauge its strength before launching a full-scale attack. In other words, Ainz Ooal Gowns' troop might end up facing yet another descendant of Brightness Dragonlord, but as an adversary, not as an ally. And this means Brightness Dragonlord, if he is much like Deckham Hugin the Elf King, and if he is using his descendants as warriors in order to identify worthy successors or allies, it would also explain why he was not personally intervening in the war or has taken any action to defend the land of his offspring. In other words, Brightness' love for reproduction could simply be an attempt to create the dragon equivalent of players or godkins. For him, having children might actually be a recruiting strategy, just like Deckham Hugin did it. And if Ainz Ooal Gowns, a player, gets involved in this process, it might attract Brightness Dragonlord's attention, and therefore he might then side with the child that is actually opposing this player. And this could mean that in addition to Cure Elim Los Malvar and his Corpus of the Abyss, in addition to Platinum Dragonlord and the Dragon Council of Erkland, yet another powerful dragon could be drawn into this conflict. And all of this could make the final volumes of Overlord even more interesting, because I believe that the battle against the slain theocracy will trigger this chain of events, this final battle for supremacy. And with that said, now it's your turn. What do you think about this theory and this video? Do you believe this is a battle between children fighting for the love of an absentee father? Or do you think that the Beastmen are simply looking for a good meal? Let me know it down in the comment section. And with that said, I say please check out my German channel and my other English channels, which are all linked down in the video description. And also please check out my Patreon if you want to support me beyond just leaving a like or sub. And with that said, I also say thank you very much for watching. Thanks to my Patreons for supporting this channel. Be sure to let me know your opinions down in the comments. And as usual, I say my special thanks to Ada Daddy Ada, ASK, Bad Guy Ye, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon S, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Din Pep, Dragonlord Placidus Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Le Louche Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Lofrazer, Merowek, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pentum, Personage, Ruru, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Q&A Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Sir Axolotl, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Sonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.